Ladies and gentlemen, we have the details of the Bastion buff. I'm Stylosa and this is Unit Lost. Welcome to the channel. So, what the hell are we looking at? Well, there's been a post from Jeff Goodman, who is of course the game's principal designer, and he outlines what they are going to do to Bastion and they're going to put onto the PTR very, very soon. So what the hell have we got? Well, he goes into quite a bit of detail, so I'm going to break this down. First up, we've got recon mode. Lowered spread and increased magazine size to help with general viability in this mode. So this says two things. The first thing, he's not viable in that mode in Blizzard's eyes, and he totally isn't. Who the hell plays Bastion running around in recon mode trying to kill people? Absolutely nobody. The only time you use that weapon in recon mode is if you're caught out of place and maybe you have to suddenly go back into recon mode from sentry mode and try and relocate, or you're walking from spawn to setup. That is the only time you use that mode. There is literally no point using it. So, this is very interesting to me that they've decided to actually lower the spread and increase the magazine size. This makes the weapon more effective. I thought in this mode what they would do is leave the weapon but actually just make Bastion move faster, because that would let him get into positions quicker, because that's the whole point of recon mode, right? Just to get into a position and have a weapon that's a little bit of a sting in the tail if somebody tries to dive you. But let's be honest, if a Tracer dives a Bastion in recon mode, Bastion is going to die. It doesn't really matter if they lower the spread and increase the magazine size, he's still going to get killed. So I don't know, like I kind of expect them to go for like a slight speed increase there, but this is a very interesting path to take by increasing his weapon. So this would mean that in a fight, if you needed to relocate, well, you could kind of still apply some damage. I mean, Bastion's recon weapon isn't that bad. I mean, it's got a lot of spread, so it's not the greatest, but it can put out quite a bit of damage. It's not like a total waste of time, but it is compared to sentry mode, right? And that's kind of what you always want to be in. So, yeah. Let's talk about sentry mode then. I guess that's a good segue to move into it. So this is the interesting thing. So this is what he says, old Jeff Goodman. Sentry mode. We're looking at focusing this mode into more of a tank buster and barrier buster mode, while also making it feel less suicidal to be transformed. To that end, we're testing stuff like increased spread and removing headshots, but taking less damage while transformed. Okie dokie. I didn't expect this. I really didn't expect this, because this is kind of like Symmetra. Well, it's not really a Symmetra level of rework, because Symmetra was given a completely new ability and all stuff like that. Bastion is not being given new abilities, they're just being tweaked in the way that they work. But it is. Well, it's not really a buff, is it? This is like a change in role. This is a redesign of Bastion. It's a reapplication of his current kit, which is what is crazy interesting to me. So, let's just break this down. So they want to turn him into a tank buster and barrier buster. And the way that they're going to do this is increase the spread and remove headshots on his minigun. Okay, this is very, very interesting. So when you die very, very fast to Bastion, currently in sentry mode, that is when he's just piling through you. He doesn't have, he has quite a bit of spread at long range, but like in medium range, he doesn't really. If he's firing at you, he's just going to pile you with loads of bullets. You're going to take tons of damage. You're going to take headshot damage. You're going to die extremely fast. This is why people get melted by him very, very quickly. However, what they're looking at doing here is removing the headshot, but increasing the spread. Okay, this is interesting, because this means with more spread, it's going to be harder to take out, like, let's say, a Tracer or a McCree or a Soldier or anything that isn't a massive target that's running at you, right? But it will be easier to take out a Diva, a Reinhardt, a Reinhardt's barrier, a Roadhog, a Winston, a Winston's barrier. So this is very interesting to me, because it's almost like an automatic shotgun with range. That looks like what they're going to do with this. I didn't expect this. Like, I didn't expect them to do this. I thought they would just keep the gun the way it is and just sort of tweak the way, like, he functions. Like, maybe he could move a little bit or do something while he was in sentry mode instead of just going for this. But this is a complete change in role. What this means is Bastion, well, he's going to be able to take barriers down very, very quickly. We don't know what the effective range of this will be or anything like that, but this could be quite interesting. Another little thing as well, it says, while also making it feel less suicidal to be transformed. What could this mean? This might be just a faster transform, probably is. Like, you just transform faster, which is fine. Or maybe there's some sort of protective barrier Bastion maybe applies to himself while he does this, or maybe he's just got more armor or something like that, which leads me on to the next point here, but taking less damage while transformed. So what that means is while you're in sentry mode, you're not going to take as much damage, so that must mean that they've increased your armor, because that's the way Overwatch works. They increase your health, they increase your armor. They're not going to give him the full-on shield he used to have when he was old Bastion, because that was ridiculous. But this is very interesting. Like, this is very, Very interesting. Next up, we've got self-repair, and this is what Jeff says about that. We're currently testing a few big changes to this that are feeling really good so far. Currently, our internal build has Bastion able to use self-repair while moving and also having it no longer interrupted while taking damage. To balance that out, it is now on a resource system similar to the root of D.Va's defense matrix. These changes have turned this ability from a more niche, rarely used ability to a much more powerful and core survival tool. Now, remember what I just said about sentry mode, like they're looking at making you take less damage while transformed. Look at what this is, self-repair. They are allowing you to self-repair while moving, and it will not be interrupted while taking damage, and it is on a D.Va defense matrix style resource. So what that means is you can heal yourself as you're taking damage, and that is fine, and you can move as well. This is very interesting because what this means is you can use Bastion a little bit more in recon mode now. So if you're moving and healing and then you stop healing, then you fire, you're not going to be able to heal and fire based off what this says. But you could move away as you're running away, you're healing yourself up, turn back around and start firing. That would mean all of a sudden, if you do get jumped by a tracer or somebody like that, that you can kind of deal with them if you've got enough repair available. This is crazy interesting. Oh my god, I keep saying it in this video, but I didn't expect them to do this. Like, this is really good. Now, you will be able to obviously self-repair while you're in sentry mode, I would imagine, but you won't be able to fire in that mode, but you can repair through damage, which, like, this gives him more survivability. If you can, I mean, if you think about it, when Bastion tends to get focused on, let's say if the enemy have got like a Widowmaker and they're firing at your Bastion, like, he has to move right now. He just has to, he can't sit there because if he tries to repair through it, as soon as he takes damage, I guess maybe Widowmaker ain't the best example because when he gets hit by the Widow, it's only one shot, right? But it's going to interrupt his repair, but he's going to take so much damage he's going to get killed. Let's say if he was getting fired at from a soldier, for example, he could sit there and theoretically repair himself while somebody deals with the soldier. So he's kind of like a tank, isn't he? Very interesting. That is very, very interesting. Right, so the next thing, well, I guess actually there's not really the next thing. I guess what we should do is we should talk about this because this is very interesting. What they're looking to do with Bastion is turn him into this anti-barrier, anti-tank character with a very large spread on his sentry mode weapon, which no longer does headshots, but he can also repair as he moves, which is very interesting. His repair is now a resource meter, so very much like D.Va's defense matrix, and he has a more effective recon mode weapon, so it's got lowered spread and increased magazine size. So what will this mean? Alright, let's think about the way Bastion is played right now. I don't think it's going to change that much when it comes to setting it up in sentry mode, right? You're going to set up and you're going to wait for the attack to come through. But if you can remove a barrier like instantly, and that will allow other DPS to come through and do damage, that is very powerful. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Bastion removes barriers right now instantly. So whatever the hell they've done here to make him just destroy barriers super quick is going to be interesting. I mean, he doesn't actually say he does more damage, he just said there's more spread, which in theory wouldn't make any difference, would it? So he would still rip the barriers down as fast as he does now, because now when you're firing into a barrier, like all the bullets hit, if there's more spread, you know, whatever, you're still going to hit that massive rectangular barrier of Reinhardt, it's still going to drop down. But after it drops down, he's then not going to be able to just blast straight through the target behind. He's going to need support. So maybe that makes him actually a little bit weaker. Very interesting. But we need more detail on this taking less damage while transformed, because we don't know what that entails, but we do know that from self-repair, you can self-repair while taking damage, so that does make him more tankier. Now, does this mean they're going to give him armor? Does it mean they're going to give him more health? We don't know. We're going to have to wait to see until the PTR gets updated. But what we're looking at here is a completely different Bastion in a way, but also it seems kind of similar. It's still the turret character. It's still the character that will rip down the barriers, but then he just won't be effective against the target after he's destroyed the barrier, or as effective. I mean, I'm still expecting this to do quite a bit of damage, because the way I'm seeing this in my mind is sort of like a medium range shotgun that is firing extremely fast. Not of the same damage, obviously, as Reaper or Roadhog's weapon, but firing pretty fast. I mean, they could actually do things like add multipliers to the weapon damage of Bastion against barriers. Now, I don't think that's the way to design the game, because I'm pretty sure that isn't, so I don't think they could do that. But that would be an interesting thing if, like, he fired sort of like anti-barrier ammunition or something. That could be interesting. However, like I said, they're wanting to destroy tanks and barriers, so you can't make him both, can you? And would he be less effective than he is now? Because it's going to be very interesting to see. But we need to know more about what this taking less damage while transformed means. But yes, what I want to know, guys, is if you are a Bastion main, what do you think about this? This is not what I expected. I was expecting the turret to remain the same. I was expecting some sort of movement, like maybe he hovers, like Zenyatta or something instead of like just being a stationary turret, and he could slowly move out of the way. I don't know. That's what I was expecting, but we're not getting that at all. So this is going to be crazy interesting to test on the PTR when it is available. It's not available right now, but to download that, all you need to do is go to the launch. You can only do it on PC as well. Go to the launch, you change your region to PTR from whatever region you're in, and it should download. This is going to be interesting as hell, guys. Oh my god. Anyway, like I said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you do play Bastion, then just go crazy and just let's go mental and let's. Oh, this could be interesting. Well, I think it's going to be interesting, but yeah. Ooh, I need to get our hands on this. Oh my god. But there's the details anyway. We have the details of the Bastion change. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you on the next one. And of course, like the video if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo.